Very good morning, cadets. Hope you are done well in your pre-board paper number 1. This video is posted for revision video for 12th January 2021. I repeat, revision video for 12th January. I know you are all occupied and busy with the pre-board examinations. Still, whenever you get an opportunity or time, please go through the revision video. Chapter Nationalism in India, very important chapter from the examination point of view. Let us discuss in brief about the non-cooperation or Swaraj movement in the plantations. In the last video we discussed about that non-cooperation movement started by Mahatma Gandhi with a clear intention of not to cooperate with the British government so that the British rule won't last for a long time. Mahatma Gandhi always believed that British could rule us just because we followed them, we followed their orders. That's the reason why. So non-cooperation movement is one such movement in which Mahatma Gandhi gave a call to the Indians not to cooperate with the British government. How to not to cooperate? That is the way it is already explained in the last class. Still once again I will explain that not to pay the fees, boycotting of foreign clothes, boycotting of foreign goods, boycotting of civil service examinations. So by doing all these things, it is very easy to make the British leave the country, that is India. So let us check about Swaraj in plantation. Workers had their own understanding about Mahatma Gandhi and the notion of Swaraj. I told you every person, in the sense every field, they conceived or the concept of Swaraj and non-cooperation in a different way. So what was the Swaraj for plantation owners, plantation workers? For plantation workers of Assam, freedom meant the right to move freely out of confined space which they were enclosed, and it means retaining link with the villages from which they had come. So what is Swaraj according to Swaraj for plantation workers? Swaraj for plantation workers is nothing but British should allow plantation owners should allow the workers to move freely in and out from the plantations, that is confined space. That is what freedom for them. So plantation workers, Swaraj is not the freedom for India from the British. It is not like that. They were always thinking in their own confined zone. Under the Inland Immigration Act of 1859, plantation workers were not permitted to leave the tea garden without permission, and in fact they were rarely given such permission. When they heard of non-cooperation movement, thousands of workers defied authorities, left the plantation and headed towards home. So plantation workers always believed that Swaraj is nothing but freedom to move freely in their defined space. And they believed that Gandhi Raj coming and everyone would be given the land of their own in their own village. However, never reached their destination, stranded on the way, by the railway steamer strike and caught by the police and brutally beaten. So, according to the England Immigration Act, the workers were not allowed to go and settle down in their village because they were all forced to work by the plantation workers under the system called Bega system, where without paying proper salary and proper rest they were asked to work. Now with the Swaraj in plantation, all the workers started leaving the plantation planning to moving towards their village, but unfortunately they couldn't reach their destination, so they were arrested by the police and brutally beaten up. So that is what this concept of Swaraj for the plantation workers. Instances are there. This topic is asked for 3-mark question. The vision of these movements are not defined by the Congress program. They interpreted the terms of Swaraj in their own ways, imagining to be a time when all sufferings and all troubles would be over. Yet, when the tribals chanted Gandhiji's name and raised the slogan demanding Swatantra Bharat. So, Swatantra Bharat is a slogan raised. They were also emotionally relating to the All India agitation. When they acted in the name of Mahatma Gandhi or linked their movement to the Congress, they were identifying that movement which they went beyond the limits of their immediate locality. So, in the later stages, they believed that they are the part of the independent movement of this great country. So, this is the incident of Chauri Chaura. Okay. Please remember this incident because at Chauri Chaura in Gorakhpur, a peaceful demonstration in a bazaar turned into violent clash with the police. Hearing this incident, Mahatma Gandhi called a halt to the non-cooperation movement. So why Mahatma Gandhi withdrawn non-cooperation movement? Answer is the Chauri Chaura incident. The Chauri Chaura incident turned into violence. So when turned into violence, the very purpose of the very aim of Mahatma Gandhi's struggle, that is struggle against injustice by non-violent way. So the very struggle was defeated. As a result, Gandhiji withdrawn the non-cooperation movement immediately. So cadets, try to understand from 1922 to 1930, the major movements were not led by Mahatma Gandhi. In the sense, there were no major movement. The very intention of this time was Mahatma Gandhi believed to consolidate people from various social and economic and professional backgrounds. Means, by 1922, Gandhiji felt that only certain class of people are supporting the Indian freedom movement. So, Gandhiji felt that it should be a popular movement. It should be a popular movement. If it should be a popular movement, people from all sections of the society, for example, women, professionals, peasants or the farmers, labor class, like that, everyone should support the movement so that the movement will turn into mass movement. That's the reason why Gandhiji always felt that it should be turned into mass movement for the great success of freedom movement. That is what Gandhiji felt. So, Chauri Chaura incident led to the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement by Mahatma Gandhi. Hope you understood the reason why the non-cooperation movement was withdrawn by Mahatma Gandhi. After this, let us study about civil disobedience movement, that is SALT. Now let us understand about civil disobedience movement. I told you from 1922 onwards, that is from 19 to 22 onwards, in February 1922, Mahatma Gandhi decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement. This we discussed in very detail. So Mahatma Gandhi felt that it is important to oppose the British policy within the council, argue for demonstrate. So many leaders felt that, some leaders felt that they wanted to participate in the election and set up by the Government of India Act of 1919. So many leaders felt that they should always stop, no, not stopping, but one more way of agitating, in the sense, few leaders felt that better to participate in the election and contest for election and be a part of legislative assembly or the parliament, so that they can pass act. So who are the pioneers in this? Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru. What they did? They formed Swaraj Party within the Congress to argue the reunit of Council of Politics. So Swaraj Party of Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru and Chittaranjan Das, they were very much interested to contest for council election and control the movement within the government. In such situation, internal debate and internal detentions for two factors shined and shaped politics towards the 1920s. The first was the effect of worldwide economic depression. Now, what is economic depression? Economic depression is nothing but very low economic activities, that is economic depression. For example, now we can say there is an economic depression in the world because of the pandemic COVID disease, because the country has gone for lockdown for so many days in the initial, and after that economic activity is slowly coming down. So economic activities are in the lowest point, but of course luckily India has not gone for a depression. Depression is nothing but the economic activities are running in a minus, downward direction. That is what economic depression. America faced economic depression, and because of this economic depression, the entire agriculture activity is gone down. Agriculture price began to fall from 1926 and collapsed after 1930. As the demand for agriculture goods fell and the exports declined, the peasants found it very difficult to sell their harvest and pay the revenue to the government. So, if you watched Lagan movie, Lagan is nothing but tax. So it was very difficult for the Indian farmers to pay the tax because of the loss of demand. Against this, the Troy's government in Britain constituted a Simon Commission. This is what another reason for, under the leadership of Sir John Simon. Simon Commission was set up. Under the Simon Commission, under the leadership of Sir John Simon, it was set up under the leadership of Sir John Simon. Now, why the Simon Commission was constituted? Simon Commission was constituted to suggest administrative changes in the Indian scenario. So, administrative changes in the Indian scenario, that is what the constitution system in India, and suggest some changes. So Simon Commission was constituted to make some changes, but Why it was opposed? Because not did not have a single Indian member. So all the members of Simon Commission, they were British. So Indians felt that Simon Commission is not proper, because a commission which is visiting to suggest administrative changes in the India, at least few members should be Indians in the commission. But it is not happened. That's the reason why the famous slogan of "Go Back Simon," "Go Back Simon," and Simon Commission was opposed. So when Simon Commission arrived in India in 1928, it was welcomed, that means greeted, with the slogan "Go Back Simon." So Simon go back, or go back Simon. So the Simon Commission was opposed. All parties including Congress and the Muslim League participated in the demonstrations. So Congress and Muslim League all participated in the demonstration of the Go Back Simon. Go Back Simon, Simon means they opposed Simon Commission. In an effort to win over the Viceroy Lord Irwin, who was the Viceroy at the time? Lord Irwin. Viceroy Lord Irwin announced in the October 29 a vague offer called dominant status for Indians in an unspecified future. So Lord Irwin tried to console or patch up the problem of arised after Simon Commission with offering Gandhiji to participate in a round table conference. So agreed to participate in round table conference. As a result, later in 1931, the famous Gandhi-Irwin Pact. So gradually lost their influence. In 1929, the presidency of Nehru, the Lahore session of Indian National Congress. Please remember one more session, that is Lahore session of Indian National Congress. Which year? 1929. So it was declared on 26 January 1930 that celebrate Independence Day. So remember, this we discussed in detail in several times. The 26 January 1930 they decided to celebrate as Independence Day. That's the reason why today also 26 January we celebrate as our Republic Day, even though Constitution was ready on 26 November. That's the reason why recently the government of India decided to celebrate 26 November as Constitution Day. So the Constitution Day. So that is what we have to understand. So Mahatma Gandhi decided to intensify his struggle. That is what the later resulted in the Salt March and the Civil Disobedience Movement. So Civil Disobedience Movement, on 31st January 1930, he sent a letter to Viceroy Lord Irwin asking for 11 demands. All the 11 demands were in general in interest, and the demands of different classes from industrialists to peasant classes. The idea was to make demands wide ranging so that all classes within Indian society would satisfy with them and everyone could be brought together in a united campaign. The most stirring of all the demands to abolish salt tax. So why the civil disobedience or salt march, Dandi march started? Mainly because of the implementation of salt tax by the British government. Implementation of salt tax. The implementation of salt tax made Indians not to produce salt, as well as the price of the salt is increased heavily. As a result, what happened? Gandhiji decided to go for Dandi March or Salt Satyagraha. So salt tax gave government monopoly over the production, and Mahatma Gandhi declared and revealed most oppressive phase of the British rule. The tax on salt and the government monopoly over the production, Mahatma Gandhi declared and revealed the most oppressive phase of the British rule. And if the demands were not fulfilled by 11th March 1930, and he would launch the civil disobedience campaign. Lord Irwin was unwilling to negotiate, so Mahatma Gandhi started his famous Salt March along with 78 trusted volunteers, and his march over 240 miles from Sabarmati to the coastal place of Dandi in Gujarat. The volunteers walked for 24 days for about 10 miles per day, and as a result, several people joined en route. Wherever Mahatma Gandhi stopped, he addressed to the people and spoke about Swaraj and argued that people should peacefully oppose the British. And finally, on 6th April 1930, Mahatma Gandhi reached Dandi and ceremonially violated the law. How he violated the law? By manufacturing the salt. So that's why it's called civil disobedience movement. It is civil disobedience movement because he opposed the law by manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. So by boiling seawater, by manufacturing salt, Gandhiji broke the law. What is the law? That is salt law. So that is the famous Dandi March led by Mahatma Gandhi. So that is about the famous Salt March. Let us study the leftover. Let us revise. I repeat once again, this video is posted for 12 Jan for the revision purpose. So please go through the video. Please go through the video and revise once again what you studied till now. Thank you.